Good noon, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the paddock here in Southern Maryland. This is video number 2 for the day. I might do a dog yard chat later, but if not, this will be I'll get 2 done today. This is a discussion of the judicial overrides of executive action that I talked about 2 nights ago. And I was asking if anybody had gone and looked at the actual judge's rulings and the justifications that the judges stood upon as they wrote these decisions and orders to halt some of the executive actions being taken by Donald Trump. And pretty much everyone said no. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone, didn't like him, I think. But no one had really gone and done the research to say, what were these decisions based upon? So I did a little bit of research at the end of the day yesterday. As before, I used AI. I used Grok. So far, I find Grok to be pretty middle of the road. I don't find whoever's programming Grok to be too biased. I think you'll see that when I read you what he's done. I don't know why I call Grok he, but I do. So what came back to me were, I basically asked the question, what are the executive actions of Donald Trump that have been halted due to judicial order since Trump took office? Grok brought back 10. So I'm just going to read you what they are, what the judges base their decisions on, and kind of some of them are ongoing, so I'll just tell you if it's ongoing or not. I don't think Trump was too surprised. I think he knows it. He's got a couple years to get this stuff done, and he wanted to do this right away. The reason he started kicking out executive orders right away is he wanted to get the process started because he knew it would take a year or two for these to get elevated, potentially to the Supreme Court, have the Supreme Court take the case and render their decisions. So anyway, I don't think he's too surprised. I'm surprised how many have been overturned or halted so far. I personally believe it's judicial overreach. My opinion doesn't matter. But rather than get mad about it or frustrate about it or boo-hoo about it or talk all jabberwocky, I thought I'd just kind of go out and say, what do the judges base their decisions on? Why are they halting these orders? So Grok kicked back 10 examples with the basis for why and where we are. So I'm just going to read through them. One thing that I said yesterday that I'm still surprised on is these justifications are based on reported legal reasoning from court rulings, news analyses, and public discussions, such as ex post articles up through April 4th. Since full court opinions aren't always available immediately to the public or exhaustively detailed in real-time sources. So I just think when a judge issues a ruling, they should immediately produce 2 documents: who presented the case to them and what were the case documents and what was the judge's order. I mean, in total, those should be publicly available. You're making public decisions affecting the public good, however your opinion is on it. That's not my point. Whatever that is, the documents should be released so the public can read them. And to a large extent, these documents apparently aren't available. I can't find them yet either. So anyway, I'm going to read you what Grok sent back on the 10 cases, and then we'll get out of here. All right, case number 1 is birthright citizenship executive order. It was overturned or put on hold by 3 judges, 1 in Maryland, 1 in Washington, and 1 in Massachusetts. Justification: the executive order violated the 14th Amendment Citizen Clause, which grants citizenship to all born on U.S. soil. Judges cited United States versus Wong Kim Ark of 1898 as binding precedents, ruling that an executive order cannot override constitutional text or 125 plus years of interpretation. The lack of congressional authorization further undermined the EO's legality. Number 2 is deportation flights under the Alien Enemies Act. This was overturned by a judge in D.C. Let's see, the status of the birthright is appeals are pending, likely Supreme Court bound. So number 2 was the deportation flights. It was overturned by a judge in D.C. The use of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelan gang members without due process hearings exceeded statutory authority and violated Fifth Amendment rights. The judge ruled that the act applies only in declared wars or invasions, not immigration enforcement, and ordered evidence of compliance to ensure procedural fairness. And the status is an ongoing litigation. Number 3 is the federal funding freeze. This was put on hold by John McConnell of Rhode Island. Justification: the freeze infringed on Congress's Article 1 power of the purse, as it halted funds appropriated by law without legislative approval. Judges found the action violated the Impounded Control Act of 1974 and lacked statutory basis, deeming it an unconstitutional executive order overreach. Current status is some injunctions have been lifted on appeal and others are active. That's all the information I can get. Number 4, termination of diversity, equity, inclusion, or DEI programs. It was overturned by Judge John Bates of D.C., and it says among others. Justification: the executive order infringed on First Amendment free speech rights by restricting agency and military training content. Judges also ruled it conflicted with congressional appropriations for diversity initiatives, lacked clear legal authority, and failed to follow the Administrative Procedure Act rulemaking processes. And let's see, it's being heard in multiple district courts. Mixed, some injunctions are lifted and others persist. Number 5, mass firings of federal employees, Schedule F and Deferred Resignation Program. It was put on hold by Carl Nichols of D.C. The reclassification under Schedule F and mass resignation plans violated the APA by bypassing notice and comment rulemaking. Judges also cited Fifth Amendment due process violations for terminating career employees without cause and noted Congress's role in structuring the civil service under Act 1. Status is these are temporary pauses and appeals are pending. Number 6 is transgender military ban. I guess a bunch of judges ruled against it because it just says various. Justification: the ban violated Fifth Amendment equal protection principles, lacking a rational basis tied to military readiness. Judges pointed to prior precedents and found the policy discriminatory with insufficient evidence to justify exclusion. I'm going to skip number 7. It's transgender inmates. Number 8 is USAID shutdown. This was Judge Carl Nichols of D.C. The justification is the emergency TRO was issued because of the shutdown. Placing 2,200 employees on leave violated congressional intent in USAID's authorizing statutes and appropriations. The judge found the action lacked legal groundings and threatened irreparable harm to employees and agency operations. Let's see, where are we with that? TRO has stopped administrative leave for the 2,200 employees. Challenged shutdown plan. Status limited order. Further rulings pending. Don't really know what that means. Number 7 is Doge access to treasury systems. The judge that put this on hold is unspecified. The act was sued by 19 Democratic AGs, but I don't know what court they sued in. There's no documents for me to look at. Justification is granting Elon Musk's Department of Doge access to treasury systems violated privacy laws, such as the Privacy Act of 1974, and exceeded executive authority. The judge ruled that such access required congressional approval and posed risks to sensitive financial data. Anyway, number 10 is retribution against law firms. I'll just leave it alone that. The video is going to get too long and too boring if I keep going. I just wanted to read what has been cited. I'm not sure I agree with them, but I'm not going to freak out either. I just wanted to put out there on the YouTube on the public eye, kind of what is being said, what are the reasonings why these executive acts are being put on hold. That's it. Hope it wasn't too boring. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.